Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Namaskar. A very good evening to one and all present here and to the master of the evening, Shri Guru Praveen Kumar sir. To all the viewers who have taken their valuable time off to watch this very thought-inspiring series of webinars. Uttamo prarthito datte madhyamah prarthitah punaha yachakairyachyamanaupi dattena tvatu adhamadhamaha. This is a very beautiful verse, very apt for the day, this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. Akshaya, the inexhaustible source, has to be from within. It is not any materialistic wealth, but it is the moral value that matters. A noble person gives without even being asked. A person of the medium category gives when asked. And the worst of them doesn't give even after asking many a times. This has been the condition in the present scenario. We pray the Almighty to give us all Akshaya Arogya, Akshaya Saukhya, Akshaya Sthita Prajnata. We request the omnipresent Mother, Sri Mata, to bestow us all with great compassion to seek an end to this pandemic, to give global peace and global eternal happiness. With this note, Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. And with this note, a very warm wish of the great Guru Basava's Jayanti today, Jagat Jyoti Basaveshwara Jayanti, a heartfelt wish of the day too. Sai Raman Nritya Kendra, Tumakuru, hosts a very thought-inspiring show under the able captainship of the versatile Vidwan Sagar Tumakuru. Many such webinars have been hosted by us. RASAGRAAHI, an initiative for such thought-inspiring seminars. And now we are at yet another beauty of a seminar, a webinar, SANKATHA, a conversation with male dancers. A conversation with male dancers acclaimed internationally. And on this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya and Basava Jayanti, we have a sadhaka with us in its truest sense. A person who is great both at heart and art. A person whom we have known as a very, very simple, disciplined, and a very profound artist of supreme class. Ladies and gentlemen, I take these moments of honor to be the best of our lives to talk about the reverential sadhana of Guru Praveen Kumar sir. Sir, we have enough respect for you. We have all the pride that you belong to our motherland, Karnataka. Karnataka Mata is indeed honored. She is very happy to be having Ratnagarbha like you, Putra Garbhas, Putra Ratnas like you. And without any delay, I shall take these moments to just speak very few words about your profound sadhana. Guru P. Praveen Kumar. Hailing from a family of artists, it is natural that he is inclined towards art, in special dance. At a tender age, he was drawn to this beauty of Bharatanatyam. After coming under the tutelage of the eminent Guru, late Kirti Shesha Guru Narmada, who lives on forever and ever through her Shishyas, Praveen sir realized the aesthetic depths of Bharatanatyam and decided to dedicate himself wholeheartedly and purposefully to this ancient, time-tested art form. A strong adherent to the traditional values of Bharatanatyam, Praveen sir is now training under the celebrated Guru, Professor C.V. Chandrasekhar. Praveen sir is an accomplished Nattuvana too, a high-class choreographer, and he has skillfully created many dances which have all been critically acclaimed. He has traveled exclusively around the globe and in India, taking part in prestigious dance and music festivals, and he runs the Chitkala School of Dance at Nama Bengaluru. Praveen Kumar sir, an empaneled artist of the ICCR, he is an A-grade artist on television, Doordarshan. He strongly believes that dance is the ultimate medium of creative expression. Many awards, recognitions have been honored by being conferred onto him, and a must mentionable few are: Praveen sir is a recipient of Ustad Bismillah Khan Yuva Puraskar 2010 from the Central Sangeeta Natak Academy, New Delhi. He is the first recipient of Mohan Khokar Award 2010. He was awarded the Obul Reddy Endowment Senior Dancer Award by the Narada Gana Sabha, Chennai, and prestigious Guru Kelucharan Mohapatra Yuva Pratibha Samman, Bhubaneswar, for the year 2016. Bangalore Doordarshana's Chandana Prashasti 2017 has also been conferred on Praveen sir, and he is recognized as the best dancer of the season from Madras Music University for the years 2018 and 2019. I have many more things to say about Praveen Kumar sir, but being too excited to listen to his in-depth knowledge, his profound sadhana, I keep the floor open to a very thought-provoking discussion between our guest of the evening, dance master, Natvanar, Guru Praveen Kumar sir, and our very versatile captain, Vidwan Sagar Tumakuru. Welcome, Praveen Kumar sir. Welcome, Sagar sir. And a very heartfelt welcome to all the viewers who have taken time off on these auspicious days too to watch us and bless us. Shri Guru Namaha. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rashid. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. It's indeed an honor to have you on board today in the Sankatha series of conversation, which we have been doing from past 2 weeks, very successfully received by the audience, and we have been in interview with accomplished male dancers across the globe, and it's been a matter of pride to invite you, a Bangalorean, a Kannadiga, onto the board and have this conversation with you. Namaste, sir. So before we start the conversation, since it's a digital mode, I have a small bouquet in terms of an Abhinaya to be presented to you. I'll go ahead with that for a minute and then we will start the conversation.
ಉನ್ನತಲಿಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಪೋಣವ ಹಿಡಿಯಂಬರಯ್ಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗನ ಶರಣರ ಕಂಡು ಉದಾಸೀನವ ಮಾಡಿದಡೆ ಕಲ್ಲಂತಾಗಿದ ಮಿಟ್ಟೆಯಂತಪ್ಪರಯ್ಯ ನಾಗರ ಕಂಡೊಡೆ ಹಾಲನೆಂಬರು ದಿಗದ ನಾಗರ ಕಂಡೊಡೆ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಂಬರೆಯ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಂಬರೆಯ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಂಬರೆಯ.
That was it, sir. Hope it was audible. Thank you so much.
Very beautiful, Sagar, and what a useful way to welcome an artist. I think this will be one of the interesting ways to welcome an artist through dance only. You said, since it's a digital form, you said you're going to present this, but I think this is more interesting. I think.
Yes, sir. Actually, this is an inspiration from Sudha Amma's show. She does a show called Coffee Conversation over table with a lot of artists. I've been watching that, and she presents a bouquet of raga. So that is what Sudha Raghunathanji. So she inspired me. Okay, then I thought let us implement Abhinaya to invite you all to the show. Is what we just thought about you, sir.
Very good.
No, I think people who are watching or who will watch later don't need an introduction about an artist. Shri Praveen Kumar ji at all. If there is a synonym of a Bharatanatyam dancer from down south, I think you are one of them in the front line artist. So I wouldn't go much about talking about you, but your journey rather, because this is the first thing which we have been asking everybody, because it's just to inspire people to know how you get connect with this kind of a divine art form, whether through a strong family background or somebody introduced to it. And some of them have stories of accidentally getting attached and then imbibing this art form. So can we hear your story of how dance absorbed you, sir?
My father's side, everybody's into art field. All my uncles, my aunts, everybody. Because my uncle was a movie director in Canada. Uh, my Dodapa it is. And then my other Dodapa, in old movies, he used to make the titles, in the beginning of the movie.
Title cards.
I used to do those graphic works at that time. And then one of my aunt is a Tanjore Mysore traditional painter, and my other aunts, they used to do this vegetable carving. So I was kind of born with an artistic background family. So for me, of course, dance, nobody was there, but I think I was just born with artists around me. In fact, I would say even the next generation, that is, I would say my cousins and everybody, all of us are also only into arts as profession. So I suppose the ambience was like that. I think that was the reason I think it was just easy for me to take arts to be a part of my life.
So do you feel that this kind of an ambience created in the family or the background, it need not be a dance or dance-oriented family, but a family which have respect towards traditional art forms, nurtures a student or a child to actually have some more interest towards pursuing these kind of art forms, sir?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that it makes a lot of difference. There is a saying, Kannadal ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮನೆ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆ ಥರ ಬೆಳೀತಾರೆ. When the surroundings of your house, when the ambience, the kind of they are exposed to, the kind of people, the kind of music, the kind of anything, even right from dressing sense to looking at yourself, the way you eat, everything will make a difference to a child's growth. So I think in art, if it's a part of you right from your birth, definitely at least it will give you an introduction to the path towards the art. Later, pursuing it seriously is left to you, but at least that introduction will be easier for you because you are surrounded with art and artists around you. Definitely, it makes a difference. And I've seen that difference in children also who come from that kind of background.
That kind of a background. And also it need not be the same form as you rightly mentioned it, because sometimes they also have a mindset, because I have met people, for example, even whenever they see my daughter, they see, oh, already a dancer is in your house, but I don't know whether she'll become a dancer or a musician or an admirer of an artist of art. That is also something which is more required. So that I think that's also a very good point which you brought out from your family background of two generations, that it's not about a musician's son becoming a musician or a cinematographer's son becoming a cinematographer. It's not that required, but the field of arts is vast, and we don't know where we take ourselves to.
Yeah, see, like you said, appreciating art should be there first.
Yeah.
Once when you appreciate an art, then when you indulge into it, automatically the outcome and the flavor will be different.
Exactly.
Like you said, I mean, a dancer's children doesn't have to be a dancer. They can be a very good rasika, because
Exactly.
we need good rasikas also to appreciate art. Because if you just have only artists around you, it doesn't work. We need rasikas also. We need those sahrudayas to enjoy the art. So any kind of exposure and appreciation to art first should be there.
I think, yeah, that's a very valid point to all people out there. I think as a family, as parents, it's about creating that passive environment for the children rather than actively, like, every weekend you go to a DJ party and next day, Monday, you take them to a classical musical class. I don't know, there will be a two different kind of a thing for for the child to whether follow that or follow this. I think that passive environment is, I think, very important for nurturing any artist of any form is what I get from you, sir. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for that.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sir, and then what we can call as a Dantakate. In Kannada, we call that word as a Dantakate, the period, an era in Bengaluru's dance itihasa, or the the period of dance, with golden letters, the name Guru Srimati Sri Narmada is not to be taken off. It's always shining, and still more shining even today because of Nirantara Narmada and other initiatives which you all are taking up and making her still be there with all of us and feel Narmada ma'am amongst us here and everywhere wherever you go to perform. How did it happen, your and Narmada ma'am's meeting and getting into class and the journey of learning under Narmada ma'am?
Well, me joining Narmada Aunty was not because she was a very popular guru, honestly, because she just stayed parallel to my street. So my parents, my aunt knew that there is a dance class in the next street. Since he's
Baswangudi.
interested, yes, I stay in Basangudi area, in Shankarpuram area. So
Shankarpuram.
my house and her house is just parallel streets. So they said there's one close by dance class. Why don't you put him there to learn? So my association started with her because it is right next street. It's nothing to do that she was a very well-known guru at that time, honestly. So I joined because it is right next street. I think, see, sometimes you're also, uh, there is a saying, no, you also need to be blessed to get the guidance,
Absolutely.
right kind of guru. I think maybe I was in that way. I was quite blessed. I think to find teacher like Guru Narmada. I think from day one with Narmada Aunty, it was just fun at the dance class. Dance class was never a dance class. It was like a picnic for all of us. So I would always look forward to go to the dance class in the mornings, going there, being there, and I still remember we used to go to the dance class at 7:30 in the morning, and we used to dance till 10:30. Like 3 hours, which I really doubt can happen at times now. To spend that much of time. Initially, I'm talking about when you're learning an adavu or anything. So you just go sit there, watch other people dancing. You do dance for some time, then you stay back, sit there again and watch next class. So there was no hurried time for you to get back home or get back to school, colleges, and all like that. So for me, that way it was always like a very a picnic kind of moment for me to go to the dance class with Narmada Aunty's class.
That was nice. How long was your learning under Naru aunty? I think it was
Yes,
a very long period, I'm sure.
my association with her has been the longest, definitely, till our health kind of got a bit disturbed. And when the teaching was kind of became very less with her, I've been with her for a very, very long time. It's been almost closer to 2 decades. I've been her student. And my association with her has been that. So, yeah.
Sir, and one more very notable thing or an aspect which we generally find as co-dancers across as a community or a fraternity is the students of Naru aunty or Narmada ma'am rather have that strong tendency to maintain that tradition what was being passed on from her gurus to her and her to you people and you to your even shishyas, because we've been seeing your students and the students of Naru auntie's students also perform, but you all have that strong lineage kind of a thing which is very very unique and at this times, because what happens slowly, once you get exposed to another style, something of that will be incorporated. As a dancer, you start deviating a little bit, but the genre of yours and the next generation of Naru auntie still have those things. I'm talking to an extent where you guys present, where you people present even jatis in a Varnam. So it has that ecstasy of the era of Naru auntie, which that is why I think she's still there in all your performances. So was it instilled to you all, or was it again an indirect, teaching which was given to you all, that you were so attracted, and you have that strong belief that even today, in the changing times and things like that, and changing cultural arena with lot of other changes, and too many things happening other than dance or something like that, still those kind of traditional repertory still has some value. So yeah.
Yeah, see, the thing is, when Naru auntie taught us, she never taught us because you're going to perform these compositions tomorrow. And okay, I'll teach you this because you're performing today. I'll teach you this composition or anything like that. Like I said, for us, learning dance was just a joy. We all learned dance just for joy and for happiness. We all loved just going to the dance class. It's like taking children to some park or some movie theater, or you take them to some thematic park or something like that. So for us, it was like that. So we just enjoyed that process of learning. We never bothered whether she was teaching us a Tanjore Quartet Varna, Saminu Korina, or was she teaching us Swaminathan Nadime, or she was teaching us the Ragmalika Jatiswara. Honestly, we were never bothered whether it was Tanjore Quartet Varna or Jatiswara. We just learned it happily. And like you said, the reason you're saying this, we all are still following that tradition, is maybe because, I don't know, this is my personal opinion. I have never changed any part of the choreography of my guru. I've just kept it intact like that.
Yeah, that we all can notice.
Yeah, I believe in that, because when anybody teaches, a guru teaches, there is a process and a flow in the choreography. So there is a thought process also, whether it is a Jatiswara, Pushpanjali, or a Varna, there is a thought process when that whole thing is done. Whether the Kittappa Pillai compositions, what Narmada auntie learned, and what the same thing she taught us. She taught the same thing what she learned from Kittappa Pillai. I learned the same way. Today, I have just kept those compositions in same way. I've never changed anything. I think that is where the beauty is, in not changing anything of that, whatever is there. Because the beauty lies in the originality, right? See,
Exactly.
I might put tomorrow some very innovative adus in between. Might be very beautiful instead of just a regular tai tai tam. I might think, okay, let me do something. It might look beautiful for a second with that moment, but when you look on a whole, the flow of the composition, somewhere there is kind of mismatch in that. So when you maintain that flow of the choreography of your gurus, then I think automatically the beauty will remain with you. I think today, if like you said, uh, the beauty that where the jatis or whatever it is, there is purity in that, because I think
Yeah.
most of us have kept to that originality with that. We have never changed. I have,
Yeah.
in fact, there are some compositions what Narmada auntie learned from Kittappa Pillai, she has taught us. I've just kept it like that. Then there is some things which she has choreographed, which I've kept it same. For when I did my Ranga Pravesha, she taught few things. I've just kept it same, never changed it. So these compositions have to be kept like that only. Then when you perform it, there is a beauty in that, because if these compositions are even intact even for today's time, if you think it looks beautiful even today, that shows the strength of that choreography, right? So you don't need to do a new choreography to prove somebody now. If that Kalyani Jatiswara from Kittappa Pillai to Narmada auntie to me to my students, it has still remained same. And if people love that Jatiswara, Kalyani Jatiswara, that shows the strength of that choreography.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is a necessity for you to change that or impress somebody with some new innovative advice put into that choreography. So
Mm.
I think there is already a beauty in that. They've already given it to us. So it is our responsibility to keep that beauty, safeguard it, and take it forward for the next generations also.
Well said, sir. And after Narmada Auntie's classes, you've been also introduced to a great maestro again in Chennai, Shri CVC sir. C.V. Chandrasekhar sir. So I think I would put it this way that learning never ends, and you are the person, a live example for us. That I believe you are learning even today, and all of us are do. So how is it? I mean, there are certain people who still think that there is an end to learning. There is a course kind of a thing. Either they think that okay, junior, senior, Vidwat, and you're done, or you have certain masters, BA, MA, or maybe sometimes PhD, and you're done with learning, and then you start giving to somebody, and once you start giving, there is nothing on the receiving end sorts. But as I know you, your learning again is being continued even today under CVC sir. So what do you have to say about this continual learning process of a dancer to be a dancer, sir?
See, learning is just not with arts. See, we learn every day, even day to day life also. No? Generally, also, we learn so many things every day in our own personal life. What we didn't see yesterday or we didn't know yesterday, we come to know that awareness is there today. So there is that ongoing process of learning in every field, whether it's personally or you take it even technology. Every I think every 1 year there's some change in technology. So people have to upgrade if you want to be in that profession. Same way, art also is like a huge ocean. You know, when you keep learning, you just feel that there is still more to know, understand. I still remember when I went to Chandra sir class, the first class, he taught me an Allaripu. I was at that stage at one point, I just thought Allaripu was, I've done so many times, it's one of the most boring items now to do it. I said, oh, Allaripu, I said. But when he taught me Allaripu, he made me realize there is so much of beauty in this Allaripu. You know, after learning from so many years, he made me realize even a simple Allaripu can make a big difference to your dance. So that it was like coming back to scratch for me to learn. You know, start again from ABCD. It made me realize, so now I'm totally in love with Allaripus. You know, even now when I start my class with some of my senior girls, I start with Allaripu first. You know, there's so much of beauty you realize in that Allaripu, what is happening. So this learning, I don't know, it's very surprising. Like you said, in arts, some people after a point, they stop learning and they think, okay, now it's just for us to teach, nothing to learn. No. I feel it's even today now, even when I choreograph some composition, and if I get a chance, I go to Chennai, I show it to my guru, and I ask him, is his thought process is okay, what I've done, or is there anything I should work on? So you need that constant guidance. You need somebody. You need that, and learning was like never-ending process. It is like keep learning. Learn. In fact, honestly, if I should say that now today when you said we're going to go live, you need to click on this particular, this link. I learned something from you. Otherwise, because see, technology is not our fault, right? But now I'm like little bit aware of how to position myself, how to click on this link, and where do I place myself. So today there's something which I learned now during this process of our conversation also. So learning happens every day, every moment in all aspects of life. This is not about arts. So I feel we learn from everybody every day. Even I've learned many things from my own students actually. Honestly, if you could say, I I've learned many things from my own students. So learning is an ongoing process.
So, do you think, because I mean, when you said the point that even today, even when you choreograph something, you will go back to your guru and show it, that point which you just put out gives me this kind of a notion that probably that was existing in the strong system of Guru Shishya Parampara, which we generally had. And because of this Western influence of education, certificate based education, so we are moving into, like, once you graduate, you come out of the college, you become an alumni, and you are there just to say hi and bye or for your teachers and take a photo in the alumni meet, and that's it. So that connection after educating and coming out is not there in the Western world at all. So I think probably is this because of this Western world kind of an influence that we are lacking that connection. Once the student leaves now, lives forever, and they will never come back. I don't know why they are so hesitant, but they generally are, like, this gap. But I just, this point which you brought out is very interesting, that even your own choreographies which you are doing, you have been discussing that with Guru. That's such a nice point which you have given to all of us. So do you think is that because of that, sir?
See, maybe, I don't know, this is my understanding.
Yeah.
See, Western thing was also more academically oriented.
Yeah.
Right? So it was always academically oriented in terms of thing. But our arts was never like that. In fact, to tell you honestly, I've not even done my junior dance exam. So I really don't have any certificates or degrees of junior exam, senior exam, nothing of that sort. I think we all learn our art. If you really see, our art is more, we all deal more with that emotive content. Our art itself is based on emotive content. So even when you learn or when you continue your relationship with your teachers or your college or anything, that emotive content is very much a part of you. When that emotive content is never a part of your learning, then it becomes like what you said, just collect a letter or a certificate from teacher and you just move on. So I think that is where that connection is lost.
Exactly.
Because our Guru Shishya Parampara has always worked on that aspect. It has never been like 9 to 5 job. It is
Exactly.
before that, like I said, with Narmada Auntie's class or even with Chandrasekhar class, for me it was when you go there first, you chat, you have like a regular talk with them for a few minutes, you do dance class, then again you come back and we discuss everything. It's just not, we don't discuss only about dance. We discuss
Dance.
about our life. We discuss about our likes and dislikes, what we saw, what we eat, what we do. So these are the points which have always been connected with our arts, especially Indian classical arts. So that when those connections are not there, then it becomes, like you said, the aim is to just collect a certificate and you just move on to the next. So some people, for some, like, see, this is just my observation also. See, each one of us look into art in a very different way. For some of us, art is a part of life. For some people, art is like you just need a degree. You need a certificate for something to say that you have done this course. For some people, art is different. So each one of us look art in a very different way. When we know where art is connected with us and how we can connect with art will take you forward furthermore to understand more, to be in the art for you there.
Very rightly said, sir. I think that's a very valid point which you gave us. And I think, the other aspect of Praveen, sir, is the form. Since probably more than, I think, I have been following your performances live and also online now for, say, around 2.5 decades. Not more than that. You're performing even before that, but I've been following around 2 decades, say. The form, say, is not, the quality of performance hasn't come down. So I want to know some secrets of your riyas or practice. How do you actually practice to keep the form? I'm not talking about the physical form of a dancer, but the dancer need to have form in his dance. So that is also very important, because it is a stake. The artist will be on stake every time we go on stage. We are on stake, whether how do we perform, and the quality level goes, the graph will go high and low in different perspectives. Critically, I'm not talking about it, but then for us ourselves as dancers to maintain that quality and reach as a arohanam kind of a thing in our own performances, correcting our own mistakes from the previous one, adding on something to it. So what about the role of practice in your life, sir?
See, one definitely, my major credit is to my gurus. Unless they would have given me a good practice, like I said, Narmada Auntie's class we used to do for 3 hours. 3 hours dance. She would make us do adavus, then she would do like on Pushpanjali, Alaripu, Jatiswara, Varna, Tilana. This was our daily regular practice schedule. So that grounding was already there for me there. And with Chandrasekhar sir also, when you went, it was not about a very long class. Even if you just do 3 corvees, you repeat that 3 corvees like 10 times. Repeat it. Or you do one tirmanam, you repeat the tirmanam for 4 times. It is not about doing one whole varna item in the class or one whole tilana in the class. It's been very rare, especially with I realized with Chandrasekhar sir's class, Chandru sir class. He would just make me do one like 3 choreos of Tillana couple of times, or for that matter even Allaripu, honestly I should say. He made me realize, but every time he would say, oh, why this hand is down, see this leg is not stretched, stretch it more. So he would make me do that. So my class from 7 to 7:45, I would just be only halfway through the Allaripu, that's all. I would not even have completed an Allaripu of that 5 minutes Allaripu. It was just that, doing that, working on that, correction on that. So I think these things have helped me to keep going. And for me, practice is like, I don't see, for me, irrespective of whether I've got program or not, I practice. For me, it is like a daily routine for me. Like the way I get up, I take my bath, I brush my teeth, I do my daily activities. This is also one of my daily activities. That's all. So I don't have a schedule, or I don't practice because I have a show. But if you really see, I'm not one of those dancers in a year who perform like 50 shows. In a year, I do maximum around 7 or 8 shows. That's it.
No, but that impression remains for years together.
That I don't know. But I just practice. That's all for me. So irrespective of whether I have show or not, I just practice. And I think that is generally because dance makes me feel happy when I dance. For me, that I just love that dance sweat. ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಬೆವರೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆರೆತ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಖುಷಿನೇ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತಾರ. You feel good with that dance sweat. So I always look forward for that dance sweat in my body.
That's very nice, sir. And do you have any fixed kind of a thing, like I should finish one margam in a day, or I'll have a, do you have a timetable or something of sorts for your practice?
No, that definitely,
as your mind goes.
Yes, because see, one thing is we have to respect our body.
Yeah.
Because our body is the instrument for to dance. We have to respect for body. See, there are some days when your bodies will just go with the flow. You can dance for hours together. There are some days your body just doesn't move, no matter how much of warm up you have done. For me, it happens many times. Sometimes after 15 minutes, I'm talking about 15, I know that my body is just not moving. That day, I don't push myself. I just stop it at that. There are some days which keeps going. Yeah. So we have to respect our body, because there's no pointing when your body is not responding and you push it, then there's something else happens to it. So I don't have a fixed schedule, like I said. If my my body's cooperating, going with the flow, I just go with it. If it says I'm not able to dance, I just say, okay, fine. I stop it at that. So there's no like strict regime that I dance like for this long every day. No, nothing.
It's another aspect of you as which we find success about Praveen sir is your great, intricate, disciplined way of teaching at Chitkala. We've been seeing the quality of your performances, not only as individual performances in Arangetrams or something like that, but as you rightly said, that you might perform in very less forums of an opportunity is given by Kannada Culture Department or something like that, where they give you around 20 minutes or 15 minutes. They give us 1 hour, but they finally get it down to, sir, ish madakagatta sorts. I think you would have experienced that. But then even those shows of yours, the students have exhibited a great accuracy in terms of basics. That is what I could sense from it, because if the basics are very strong, I think we all know if the foundations are strong, the building can go really beautiful later, and it might take a little bit time for them to shape up their other parts of it. But if the basic itself is not right, then it's again going back to scratch and then reforming yourself. How about Riyaz for your students, sir? What is the framework which you generally give them?
See, teaching students is definitely quite challenging, and
Yes.
Especially when it comes to initial training, I am very clear with what I teach and how much I teach. I have the ADU's structure, which unless it is completed properly, I never move on to the next. Even teaching a basic Ganapati Kautham or an Alariti. Because I believe that, it's like you need to, if you want to get a degree, you have to study from first standard, you need to pass your high school, you need to pass your college, you do your degree, then you have a certificate. So we have to have that patience and time to learn it and inculcate it. Of course, you will have all kinds of students, some who follow your path, who believe in you, and there are some who don't. But that's okay for me. The only belief I have always is ADUs will always work no matter how long you've practiced. Even if you've practiced for 20 years, the first thing, if you can do ADUs, it will be good. Even now, for me, with my senior students, the moment they come into the class, for 20 minutes, we do only ADUs. I make them do ADUs. Then I move on to whatever it is. So I don't have like a strict regime or anything, but I make sure that ADUs is done irrespective of what batch. Even if it is a basic Tatadu batch or there is a batch who have just finished ADUs and started Ganapati Kautham, they have to do ADUs first, then only we move on to the next. So I don't know, many people must have hated me also for this, but this is the way I teach.
I think we also have learned it that way, sir. We took almost 3-4 years for finishing the basic and then going on to the items, but we were little fast in catching the other part of it. So what about the importance of Anga Sadhana before even starting the adavus? How important is it for dancers to do either a bit of yoga or at least exercises prelude to starting, and what does it benefit them from, and how much time do you generally dedicate in class, or should they finish that at home and come to class? Because nowadays we have 45 minutes 1 hour classes also, because of the tight schedule of not Praveen sir but of the tight schedule of the student, going to many things, abacus to music to dance to tuitions to whatnot, many things.
Yeah, see, I agree that any allied arts or any allied form will definitely help you when you come for a class or when you practice a particular art form. Definitely, I do agree, whether it is yoga or I know there's some people go to gym, some people go to Kalaripaitu, some people go jogging and all. But honestly, I haven't done any of those. I believe our dance itself has a beautiful structured. There's a very nice. People talk about today about pedagogy. They have done this pedagogy, this. But if you really see the structure of advos, it is a pedagogy for you to warm up before you go for a composition.
Composition.
See, when you see, just look at basic Tattadvo. We're just using only our feet. Then when we move on to Natadvo, then we are using our heels, right? So there's a little bit extension of your body, right? Then next, when you're talking about, okay, you say Yagaru Mettadvu. Then you're balanced on your on your toes. When you balance on your toes, automatically you're strengthening your thigh muscles because you're all the way in your thigh muscles, right? So there is a gradual progression of these body kind of conditioning, warming up in our advos only it is there.
Okay.
So you don't need to honestly look for somewhere else. Like I know there is some people say they go for gym to do some stamina to gain some stamina and all. But I always believe that you practice for more hours of time, you will get stamina. You don't need to go to gym to get your stamina. Because see, dance needs a different kind of stamina, different kind of body conditioning, different kind of warming up. What for other things doesn't work for these things. So I would always believe in these advo system of doing before you do nice good advos. Definitely it will help. But of course, I'm not denying that doing other things are wrong. Maybe for today's lifestyle, I think these other things might be needed when you have when your time is so compressed. There's not much time for you to devote. So maybe these things might help if you kind of do it before at your house or then come to the dance class.
So I think it's more important for us to look at critically the adavus itself and then practice it more and more. It doesn't even, it will also enrich the nritta part of our dance later. Also warm up is what you're actually saying.
Yeah, in fact, I read somewhere, our Allaripu, which is 4 minutes, is equal to 20 minutes of cardio in a gym.
Oh, okay.
So you already have
aerobics.
We already have it in Allaripu, which we can finish it in 4 minutes. Why waste for 20 minutes? Because when you look at Allaripu itself, what is Allaripu definition itself got? Blooming.
Blooming, yeah.
So you are opening up your body with every part, your eyes, your head, your shoulders, neck, your torso, your legs. What else you need? If you just start with an Allaripu, you're kind of warmed up. Then you're like ready to do a Varna or a Jatiswara, whatever it is. So I believe in that.
That's great, sir. So we'll go to the other aspect of Praveen sir's personality as a more towards, all of us know that you're towards more into attracting audience ginta. It's more towards perfectionist view of presenting any of these, repertory items on stage when you are as a performer. But one thing which I really liked about your performance is the connect which you try to establish even in a very short span. It's not like a long padam or an abhinaya item where you get a lot of time to establish that connection between the audience and get to their sthai and do manipulations over there. Even in varnam between two jatis, the sahitya which comes there, you try to establish, and sometimes a little bit of humor also. I've seen some of the sancharis of yours where it connects, and there is a whole lot of the laugh loud from the audience side, which makes you aware that okay, they are with me, and gives you a lot of confidence, I think, to go further. And I was amazed to see such kind of an audience who are involved in this digital era in performances, and I think you're more successful in that. So how do you think that this kind of an establishment of the connection between the audience is important, and how do you actually foresee it to happen in your performances?
See, this I don't purposely take an extra effort to see if I can reach the audience. I've always believed in that when you present something, first you need to be convinced of your thought process. You should have clarity. It is not about having great thoughts or some very philosophical ideas into your dance. See, because our dance, when we are catering, I'm talking about, suppose you're dancing in an auditorium, there is 10 people who knows dance.
Hmm.
So
True.
the remaining 90 people who are there in the thing, they have just come to enjoy an evening. That is all. So I can't just cater to that 10 people. I have to reach to those 90 people also. So I don't know, this is my logic. I've tried to keep it simpler, the form, not complicate it too much. Uh, Rather make it simple hasta and simple communication of uh, with the ideas, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do, so that it can reach everybody. Because ultimately, see, sometimes even as a dancer, sometimes when we watch somebody, we're not able to understand what is happening. It happens to all of us, no? With some hastas, when you don't know in what context they're showing it. We're
They're
not
showing
able
it.
to, we're not able to relate to it. So it is not about just using the Shastra and Hastas. I have to be convinced that what I am using this Hasta, does it make sense? First, I have to be convinced. Even if I'm showing a girl, I don't have to necessarily use this Hasta. I have to be convinced. Now, how many of us understand this is a girl? You are a dancer, you will understand. What about the person sitting next to you? They might not know. So if I'm able to communicate with my body language or with my expressions that it is a girl, I think that should be fine. So that I think first foremost is for us to be convinced what we're doing is right or wrong. So that it is not about hastas or anything, it's about the ideas I'm conveying is okay, I'm sure of this thought process, what I'm doing. So I've always kept that in mind as when I do for myself or when I choreograph also. And regarding this humor also, I don't know, many people have told me that there is always a small tinge of humor and the naughtiness in your presentation. I don't know. I've never done it purposely, but I always feel humor is one of those rasas which can bring you closer.
Hmm.
It will automatically connect with anybody. It's like generally when you see somebody who's very lively, jovial, you feel a kind of comfortableness with them.
Ah,
You know,
exactly.
there's a kind of you might not know them, but you feel that you're a part of with them. That's always there. So maybe that is the reason I feel that humor can connect easily with the audience, and that instant connection is there between both as an artist and a connoisseur, I feel.
Yes, sir. Sir, and the next question we go on. We have only two more questions with the time limit we have. So, but I think these two are very important in the perspective of again on as a performer and as a teacher. We'll go at the end. So, this is related to your performance again. How would you compare a performance with live musicians, with the orchestra with you, and to the CD, and with the change time and the budgets and things like that? What's your viewpoint as to how we can balance both as dancers?
I think we have to welcome both. Both has its advantage and disadvantages. For me, of course, any day live musicians is life.
Okay.
We draw energy from each other. I draw energy from my singer, my mridangam player, my natwangam player, my flute, anybody who plays for me. And they're giving me energy, and in turn, I'm also giving them energy to, to produce back something beautiful. Because it's a teamwork, right? It's just not about one person dancing. tomorrow when somebody says this was beautiful, that's also because I'm relating musically also to them. I'm just not using my body. I'm using my body to relate to that music also.
Yes.
So that live musician feel is definitely there. Regarding with CD, of course, it has also got its plus also. At some places when you can't take your musicians or there is time constraint is there for you, CD will definitely help you. Definitely. Of course, but one advantage I've seen with recorded music is that you can sometimes make your music sound richer. You know, it can sound much richer and you can have more more life into those recorded musics. You can have it sometimes, which may not be there with the live musicians. Also, like sometimes because of the budget constraints, I might just have 4 musicians for my kacheri.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas in a recording, when I'm spending some money, I might shell out some more money and have another 2 more musicians and add up like a violin or kanjira or a morsing, which can enhance the quality of the music. So it has got both plus and minus, and I don't see much. I don't like to say this is good or that is bad. I have enjoyed both the process of dancing to a live musician and also for the recorded ones also.
Sir, and one more very unique aspect of yours, which I want to bring. I mean, people know about it, but still, I was admired about Praveen sir because from my childhood, rather, I have seen you in sabhas like Maleshwaram or in Ravindra Kalakshetra or ADA Rangamandir and various different festivals. But there was also a festival which we interacted also in Tamil Nadu for Shivaratri, the Natyanjali festival, where a dancer doesn't expect anything but just to do an offering to Lord Shiva, and that to whole night. And I was very blessed in that way that I think in 2019 our slots were very near, I mean one next to each other, so we could stay there. And I think your last performance I remember was at 3:15 in one Tiruvilimalai temple there. I think I remember because we were coming and you went on stage at that time, but there is a different kind of feel there. So how do you find that as a performer performing in these kinds of performances and a sabha rather in Chennai or in a festival abroad?
See, for me, space is a space for me. Honestly, I don't look into this is Music Academy Chennai or this is Bangalore Seva Sadan or this is temple. For me, it is a space. That's all. For me, any space, even my dance class space is a temple for me. See, we all are dancing in this one space, drawing energies, giving energies to other people also. See, when we dance, at some places there are some vibrations. Like you said, this temple thing, Natyanjali, that throughout the night Shivaratri, what we did.
Yeah.
When I'm sure even you would have observed, each temple had a different kind of vibrations for you when you danced. It may be the same Shiva temple at different place, it may be 5 different places, but each time when you go dance, the vibration is very different, the feel is very different. And you might be repeating the same composition in all those 5 places, but each time there is a different feeling in you when you're dancing at that space. So for me, it has always been that space which has inspired me. So for me, it is the space which can give me energy to enjoy and share whatever I know. I know there are many times people say, oh, this is Music Academy show, I have to practice this, or this is this, I have to practice. For me, even if you come and ask me to dance tomorrow in your dance class, I will put in the same kind of effort what I do for elsewhere. For me, honestly, space is irrespective of whether I'm dancing in Italy, America, or Bangalore or Chennai, it is all the same. For me, it is just a space. When I walk into that space, I have to feel energized. I have to feel those vibrations. So, in fact, even I tell my students also, even I do even today now. If I get a chance before the performance, I just go around that stage like 3 4 times. I just take a walk. You know, just to feel the space. You should know the space. It's like in our house. Suddenly, when there's a current goes, you know where the switch is, where the door is, where the window is, because you're living with that. So even the dance space has to be like that because we live there at that moment. Whether you're dancing for 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, we are living in that space for that moment. So you have to just feel that space. So for me, irrespective of where the space is, I just have to be there. That's all. I have to be present there. That's all.
That's great, sir. So, as a performer, again, and related to your teaching, there is now, which we see, I mean, the performers who are coming up, the generations, including us, even before us, and now it has been exponentially more because we are training many of them. And compared to before, the opportunities are also more now, the venues are more. But as a perfectionist in terms of training and performing, how can we make what is your insight into maintaining the quality of the performers? As I mean, as a teacher, I think you would have experienced it. Okay, fine, this student is performance ready at this point of time, whether we teach them to perform or no. But sometimes in these days there is Chiguru program by Kannada Culture. There is something which the government also hosts, which is going on, and they come and keep asking, shall I do, but it's like, it's a very tight position for us to say you're not ready, and the parents will say, I'm sending it from 3 years, 4 years, she's learning, but why can't you tell her to do a 5 minute dance? Because it's a practical experience, at least in our zone, which we have seen. So when do you treat that, okay, fine, she's ready or he is ready for performance? And what is your tip for the viewers, actually, that there has to be that kind of perseverance, rather, to wait for that time so that we are fully ripe and we go and present ourselves as artists before even plunging on, saying that, okay, fine. Even the arangetrams or something like that happening now, it's not about the budget which the father and mother or parents are ready to do it with, but the stuff which the student actually can acquire, and if she's presentable to an extent that the field of art can receive, and tomorrow she's going to perform in many venues with the same quality. So what is your take on this aspect, sir? Because again, just to finish my question, this is also coming up because of the online performances which we have been flooded with in Facebook, Instagram from last March, which was there before, but not to this great extent. And it's going on now in the second wave. The second wave of online performances have cropped up a lot, where we see good performances. Yes, we get inspired. Sangeet Natak Academy also is releasing a lot of its treasures which it had before. And people are also informing, like people like you, and there are organizations in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, who are all promoting arts in different ways, where quality performances are coming up, but they are also over flooded with these kind of performances. So what is your take on when should a girl or a boy enter this stage?
See, this is quite a debatable question, honestly, if you say.
Yeah. So I just want your opinion on it.
Yeah. Obviously, see, ours is a very performing art, our dance, right? So, obviously, the moment when you are learning a performing art, anybody, no matter what, want to be on the stage. They want to come onto the stage. Now, whatever I'm saying it from my perspective and the way I look into it. I do every year dance school anniversaries, wherein I give opportunity for every kid.
Everybody.
Good, bad, whatever it is. We all give them, and I try to make sure that even the not so good student is at least presented in a very decent way, in whatever best I can do it. After a while, I'm very clear with the students and the parents when it comes to the next level when they want to perform elsewhere or whatever it is. I'm ready to uh, give them an exposure, ready to give them practice if they want. But I need the same kind of commitment from them.
Mm.
Unless I don't see the commitment from them, I don't encourage them, even if they want to do it. This is how I have been following. I said, I'm ready to present you on the next stage if you want to dance. No problem, ready. But now, if I'm devoting a particular time to you, are you also ready to invest that much of time for yourself to give it back to me? When I see a commitment from them, then I'm ready to give them platforms, give them exposure. Even with Arangetrams, I'm very clear unless I see this particular student is serious about dance, I don't even open up the topic of performing them or thinking of an Arangetram. In fact, if you really see, I have so far done around 16 or 17 Arangetrams, that's all. And I can openly say all the 16 girls are still dancing today.
That's more important. Yeah. So
It is not about just putting you on a stage. I want them to first enjoy the process of learning.
learning.
Yeah, only when you enjoy the process of learning, then you will enjoy the process to stay for a longer period of time. When you stay for a longer period of time, automatically things will also happen and you will get opportunities to be featured in other places. I
Perfectly put.
I believe in this, and people who have believed in my path are with me. Some people haven't believed and they've gone. So I have no issues.
Sir, there is a question from the chat box from the viewers. One of the accomplished dancer from Bangalore, Suma Krishnamurthy ma'am, is asking you. First, I'll just read both the messages she has sent us. Such profound words, youngsters should understand and follow this. Very nice, Praveen. The question is, what is the technique you use to teach Abhinaya?
Abhinaya, there's no technique. I always like to understand the dancer when I'm teaching an Abhinaya. Okay, see, when you're teaching kids, you always teach them at a very basic level of Abhinaya. When you're teaching something like for Arangetram or later also with the senior
The
girls,
senior stage. Yeah.
yeah, I I might have just like one structure of a choreography, but I like to go with the body language flow of each individual dancer. I generally teach them a structure and I say, use your body and show it to me. Because I might say for a particular word, keep your right look forward. That might work for me, but that might not work for you. You might be happy standing in Samapada and doing the same action. So I like to use their individual body language for Abhinaya especially. So if in fact, if you see some of my students, if you see the same Yarikaginum Bayama or Sakonin Sneha, a couple of them doing it, the structure may be the same, but you will see that individual representation of that particular emotion. Because I like to bring out their personal touch to it. You have to get that Abhinaya, especially when you're doing Abhinaya. See, Abhinaya is very personal, I feel. See, I might get angry at one point. You might show angry in a different level. So I have to give you that freedom for you to open up and say, this is how you will react. So for me, that personal touch is very important when you're teaching an Abhinaya. So I like to inculcate those personal touches of those individual person when you're teaching an Abhinaya.
Thank you, sir. I think it was a very convincing answer. And I am sure that the time will not wait for anybody, and I cannot take much of your time because more than committed. But I think conversation like people with people like you and personalities like you will not never end, because these are all not conversations, but I think these are all revelations, which I think you guys have got it from the great gurus under whom you have probably learned how you should live your life as a dancer. So I think it's a very profound, I think the chat box is full of these kind of words called profound, very perfect answer, and things like that. So it gives us a notion of, I think it's just we have touched some 10 to 20% of what can be done in an hour, but still I think it will be a very useful conversation for all the youngsters, and even for others who are wishing to develop themselves as an individual in the field of dance. Sir, quickly, informal round of a rapid fire. I'll just ask you, sir, whatever comes to your mind when I say these words, you can just shoot back to me.
Okay. Okay.
We'll start with the easiest one, sir. Food.
I love it.
Hero.
Anybody who can inspire me.
Great. Festival.
Celebrations.
Sabha.
A joy, a place to be.
Dance mates. Colleagues. Dance colleagues.
Dance colleagues. They are your great stress busters. You can gossip, you can have fun.
Item. Dance item.
It's just expressing yourself.
Great. Fear.
Should be there to understand oneself.
Great. Joy.
It should be a part and parcel of your life.
Style.
Very individualistic, having our own stamps.
That's great. I will go with the last one. Dance.
Dance is my partner.
Wow, that's a different way. Thank you so much, sir. I think it was a really enlightening evening to all of us on this Akshaya Tritiya day, I would rather put it. So you have given everything in abundance, your words, your experience rather with gurus, their interaction, and lot of messages to and lot of takeaways from today's session. We all got very put in a very formal, good, presentable manner, and that's how Praveen sir is always known for, but it's proved again, yet again. So thank you so much on behalf of Rasagrahi and an initiative from Sri Sai Ram and Nritya Kendra Tumkur, and we look forward for more and more associations with you in future in terms of learning, in terms of performance, and in terms of inspiring sessions like this, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sagar, for inviting me and asking me to share. I don't know. See, all these experiences, whatever I've shared, is through me being with my gurus or observing everybody. And for me, like I said, everything is a learning process and experience. Like today also, I learned many things for me being a part of your show. You know, like I said, for me, you kind of made me little more upgrade with the technology. Honestly, I'm not a very tech savvy guy, but you made me realize few things with technology. So I've also learned in turn something. So I think we're all in this journey of flow wherein all of us are sharing something, experiencing something. I think it's very mutual. I think it's just not about one person sharing it and only one person, other person is only receiving it. And I think it's both ways, I suppose.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So before we end the show, a message to all the viewers from your side in current times or for future, whatever.
I would just say that, there is a saying that art is a healer. It's a beautiful word, and we have all got art as a part of our life. Whether you're a dancer, musician, or even if you're a rasika, connoisseur watching it, I think today we have all been lucky that art is still with us, a part of it. In spite of whatever is happening, see, many things have come to stand still ever since this pandemic happened. But art has never stopped. It is going on in some way or the other. So we are all lucky and blessed that art is a part of us. And I think we should celebrate with this art at moments like this even more.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for such great words. Actually, that's why, sir, even we started this conversation series at this time was to just spread some positive energy to the people, because whenever you open YouTube or any channel, news channel or anything, it's all about negativity is there, these, that, and all. There is nothing positive which was going on. So we thought of we'll trap people and tap people and just spread positive vibes through their experiences of being with art, so that people start living with art. As you rightly said, dance as a partner, it need not be a dance, but whichever art form which they are promisingly learning, I think that should be with them to give all types of confidence to fight anything at this difficult time. So with that notion, I think we'll end today's conversation, sir. I have taken 15 minutes extra from your time. Thank you so much. But it was, I think, if it goes on for next 1.5 hours also, I think there will be a lot of viewers. And thank you, viewers. Today we have, I think, the highest number of sign-ins to the show. I think, thank you so much, sir, and thanks for inspiring all of us.
Thank you, Sagar. Thank you.